Hello everyone, my name is Nicolas Matz, and today I will share with you my experience on leading teams, and also I will give you some practical tips on how to achieve success and results as a leader. So first, I would like to start with a warm-up, because as a former professional volleyball player, I realized that this is a key part in sports, and also I realized that it's good for meetings. So for the next minute, I will invite you to put the phone in your pocket. If it's already there, perfect. I would like all of you to sit comfortable, to relax your shoulders, relax your legs as well. And good. And what we are going to do all together, it's 3 long deep breath the following way, okay? You will inhale the air through your nose. You will feel it entering your nose during 3 seconds. Then you will retain it for 1 second, and then you will exhale through the nose during 3 seconds, okay? So for the ones who would like to do it even better, you can close your eyes. So let's do it, only 3 breaths, okay? So inhale, 1, 2, 3, retain, and exhale, 1, 2, 3. Second one, inhale, 1, 2, 3, and exhale, 1, 2, 3. Third one, and last one, inhale, and exhale. Good, great. So for the ones who did it, now I feel that maybe we are in the same frequency, and this is something that I do to prepare to start for a meditation, or even to do some sort of mental reset. So today, I would like to share with you the recipe that I learned with the ingredients that I like most, and at the end, I will share with you my secret ingredient. So now I would like to ask any of you, if you like to cook, what you can do with the ingredients of a recipe. Any thoughts? Someone?
Sandwich.
Sandwich. What else? What else you can do to those ingredients? What do you do when you cook?
Mix them.
Mix them. Good. So yes, you can mix the ingredients. Even you can replace them. And even you can change the cooking time. So for agile teams, as prescribed in Agile way of working, it's all a matter of experiment, change, inspect, and adapt. So now, today, I divide this recipe in 3 main parts. We will have the starter, the main course, and the dessert. So let's start with the starter. And here, I would like to ask all of you in the room to raise your hand if you are leaders. Great. So for the ones who raise the hand, have you ever reflected in which kind of leader you are? Please raise the hand again. Good. Great. And for the ones who already raised the hand again, have you ever asked for feedback from your team members to validate if you are the same as they think? Great. Okay, good. So, for the ones who haven't reflected yet about which kind of leader you are, I recognize that the foundation of any team, we need to set up the environment. And we need to work with people, and people need to feel psychologically safety. Okay? So, I don't know if you know, but at any impression that we have from outside, the first part of the brain that decodes that expression is this last part, that it handles the emotions. And then the electrical impulse should go all the way through the front, that is the rational part. So that's why we are emotional. So what we need to ensure, or what I like to ensure in the teams, is that they are not afraid to express themselves, that they don't have fear of judgment. So to feel safe, maybe you may ask me how you do that. So first, I would like to share with you 1 minute of a scene of Alexander the Great. That it's Alexander before the speech, before the battle against the Persians. That it was like the last battle when the Persians were 4 times their size. So let me share with you.
Ptolemy. I remember you the day you took the siege tower of Tyre. You were a giant. And today, how will you fight? Texables. By Athena, how far was it you threw your man wrestling at the last Olympic Games? Will you match it with your spear? And Commander, son of Menander, a great soldier to my father, I still mourn your brother Adaios, who died so bravely at Halicarnassus. What an honored family you descend from, Commander. You fight for them today.
So, if you pay attention, before his speech, he engaged the soldiers by doing some personal comments about personal details of the people. The first one was motivational, the second one was funny comment, and the third one was more emotional. The same way I like to start my meetings. I like to do like this, like a warm-up or an icebreaker. Same thing that we did at the beginning of the presentation. I like to make comments to bring some fun, to share an experience that I had during the weekend or in a travel. Even better if that experience has some issues or trouble, so we can joke. And also I like to make comments to the people about personal details. Of course, things that can be shared in public. In essence, what I like is not to go directly to work stuff. So now, as a leader what needs? Need followers. So for the second ingredient of this starter, I think that second part is to build the sense of a team, or the so-called team spirit. Simon Sinek, the author of the book Start with the Why, said clearly that we need to communicate the purpose of the team. Why we are doing what we are doing, instead of starting with the what. Our brain, the limbic brain, that is our most primitive part of the brain that has million of years, is the one that doesn't understand the language and is related to our emotional part. And believe it or not, this part of the brain doesn't, it's the one that makes decisions. So we need to align with our values with them in order to make them do actions. So when I go with a new team, I usually make them choose a name, and then after choosing the name, work and create the team charter or social agreements. And there, with those social agreements, you align on the expected behaviors that you want to do in the team and also in the values. If you join a team that already exists, what you can do is to revisit these social agreements to understand if you are in sync with them. So then, after that, what I like to do is to build a relationship with the team members. First, on personal level, meaning on one-on-ones, and then on team level, in the meetings at work, and also in team outings outside of the work. So, on personal level, first, I would like to share with you my journey of self-awareness. 6 years ago, back in Argentina, I was struggling with my anger management. I was sometimes verbally fighting with people in the street or in the public transport, and even with family members. But one day I said no more, and I started psychotherapy, and after 6 to 8 months later, I managed to dig in all my emotions and also accept my defects. So then I start to dig in myself, and I understood that you need to be aware of yourself. What drives you? What do you want? What do you need? And not follow all the time what society or family or friends are expecting on us. Also, I start to understand what are my emotional triggers, so then I'm able to manage them. So then, when I go to a one-on-one with the person, I like, as Robert Greene said, Robert Greene, the author of The Art of Seduction, that is a really nice book, that you need to put the person in the center. The person is the center. You need to feel like you are in the skin of that person. So basically, when I go to the meeting, I go open and I share my feelings. So then the person, when that person shares their feelings, you can sometimes tell them that you face the same issue, or you even have the same feelings as them. Basically, these 2 points are the base of emotional intelligence. And in third point, as with any customers, also with my team members, I like to understand what are their needs, what they want, how they feel, and which techniques can I bring them to feel better. I remember last week, one developer of the team called me feeling bad because he didn't have the outcome that he was expecting out of the performance review. So we talked about that, and of course, then we realized that he didn't have a good strategy towards achieving that goal. So we started shaping together, using some coaching techniques, what would be the best strategy for the upcoming performance review. And at the end of this short meeting, he told me that he was feeling better. So of course, that is really good for me as well. I feel good that I could help him. And then, on team level, what I usually like to do is to show myself as vulnerability. I like to tell my team that we are all humans, that we can make mistakes. One mistake that I sometimes have is time boxing. Of course, today time boxing, I think it's not an issue, but I hope that I will maintain the timing. And also, what I like to do is every time that I don't know something, I raise my hand and I ask for help, and I encourage the people to do the same, because it's not an issue. Also, second thing that I like to do is to pay attention to the people and listen them carefully. Not only listen them carefully on one-on-one, how they talk, how they behave, and also in team meetings, how they interact with the people, how they talk with the people. So then you can have like a full understanding of their social style. So then you will know in the future what is the best way to approach them, and how you will be able to convince them or influence in a good way. And last point, we usually have this tendency of seeing the negative thing. So as a leader, I recognize that you need to bring the positive side all the time. You need to bring energy. You need to see the bright side of every situation. You may tell me that, Nico, I don't have that kind of style. But let me tell you that we are actors in life. We have been acting our whole life in some way. So if you are not this way, I encourage you to practice. Like we have like us, I always think that we have like a really set of masks beside us. So it's a matter to practice and put that mask. At the beginning, it will not fit, it will not feel comfortable. But as soon as you start practicing it, you will feel good and it will feel natural, what you're doing. So, remember when I asked you at the beginning if you reflected on which kind of leader you are? So for me, I find my purpose in life in the servant leadership style. I really understood the deep meaning of leading by service, and not this usual thought that you are like a waiter, that you have to serve the people. Of course, if you put the green card there, I would serve you. That, no. But yeah, sometimes also it's good to serve your team members, bring in something to eat, to drink, or so on. But what I found about this style is like I can take care of the people, and mainly in emotional level. I can help them to handle stress, to not make things personal, or even to provide some strategies on how to communicate with other people. With this kind of style, I realized that you are able to impact and resonate in some part of the society. Then, now I would like to show you some characteristics that I like from this style and things that I applied in real life. First one is that you can bring knowledge to your team. You can teach them, not only in the agile values or the agile practices, but also about things about life. Also, you can motivate them by showing them how their work is important and how their job impacts the overall success of the company that they work in. Also, you can help them on their career plan. If they have personal or professional goals, you can help them to achieve them. Like if one of the team members wants to upskill and learn some new things in the project or go for a certification, you can help them creating a plan by using, for instance, coaching techniques, and then you can follow up on the execution of that plan. And third one is to empower the people to make decisions. I remember while playing professional volleyball that I have one coach that in the technical timeouts you used to plan what you are going to do in the next point. So he usually says, guys, when you go to the field and the things don't happen as we plan them, you have to make decisions. Things can change. So you have to make the decisions. You are there in the field. I'm not with you. But you have to go all in with that. So that's why I always encourage my team members to make decisions. Because if they are sure about something, go ahead and do it. And also, not that, by encourage them to challenge themselves and also to challenge me. Sometimes I came with some idea or proposal of to start doing something, and I like if they challenge me and they tell me, no, Nico, I don't like that or whatever. But ask for reasons why you don't like that. And maybe, if possible, to bring a new idea or even to build on top of my idea, like any brainstorming technique. So now, let's go to our second part, that is the main course. So how to achieve success. And here I pointed out 3 parts as well. The first one, I realized that you need to be transparent with the team. You need to bring them information of what's going on in the project, even if that information doesn't impact them directly, or even if that information is not their responsibility. But I realized that people feel better when they know. Not only developers, also VAs, the product owner, anyone. And second one, it's important to be clear about what needs to be done, when needs to be done, have clear expectations about what you expect about them and what they need to do. Also, I like to engage the team early and often, make them part and involve them in the decisions that are being made in the project. I like to always ask them, to anyone, what they think about that. Not only if it's something from business, from a product owner, I also like to involve a developer and ask them, okay, what do you think about that? It's good because when you do that, you align and you get this famous buy-in. So then any change or any implementation, it's really smoother. I have that experience. When I didn't involve the people, then it's super difficult. But when everyone knows what it's going to be implemented, then the process it's better. So change management here, it's really, really important. And the last one, every time that we go to sprint planning or a program increment planning, I like, after creating the plan or the PI objectives, I like to make them give voice and make them commit to the plan, if they are ready to commit to that plan. So I can get some concerns, or even we can change the plan. And then after everyone commits on that, what I usually do is to follow up the level of commitment. How during the sprint or during the PI they engage with the people, the level of ownership in their tasks. So then let's go to our third part, that is our dessert. And here, talking about teams, I like to show you this image, but to focus mainly on the guy that is carrying the flag. For the ones who doesn't know, these are the nations entering the stadium in the open ceremony of the Olympic Games. So I feel like as leaders, we need to be like the one carrying the flag, that is like the captain of the nation. And this guy, if you see, it's in front, showing the north. And as agile leaders, we need to do that. We need to show the north to communicate the vision and recommunicate the vision. And when people don't remember, recommunicate the vision. And then the flag, I feel like it represents the team, the values of the people, and the mindset. Not only the agile mindset, but also the growth mindset. And by growth mindset, I mean three main things. The first one is to always make the team to embrace challenge. Challenge in every situation. As I mentioned before, if the product owner comes with an idea of prioritization based on business, I like to engage the developer and tell them, okay, do you think this is correct? Because the developer in the end is the one who develops and do all that part. So sometimes the priority will not be the same. Also, seek for feedback. I like to ask for feedback from the persons, from the people, and then I encourage them to ask for feedback between them, because this is important to understand how you are doing, how is your performance. And the third part of this growth mindset is that every time that someone do something that is really good, that it impacts the project, I recognize that person. I try to reward that person. But doing that, you inspire the others about the success of that person. Also, as a leader, I think that we need to be lifelong learners. We need to be prepared for every meeting. I like a quote from a Roman philosopher called Seneca from 2000 years ago, so nothing new, that says, that luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. So if you are prepared and there's an opportunity that comes to you in life, you will be able to catch it. It will not pass through like a train. So now I would like to tell you, for me, what is the most important part of a team. And the most important part is build trust. I remember while playing professional volleyball that we were in the team, and of course there were other guys that were playing for a long time, and they were their job, they worked, they were having families, they have to maintain their families, so they need to play good to get good contracts. So I remember training all the week to go to the game in the weekend, and sometimes lose in that game. And I remember if we lost in that game and I play bad and make a lot of mistakes, I went around and around to all those mistakes and even not able to sleep the night after that. But then you have a new week where you can practice, when you can improve what you did wrong. And not only that, you are able to see your teammates, how they are practicing, how they are trying to improve what they did wrong. So then you go the next week, you go to the next game. So they are in the moment, in those special moments, you will know all the effort that you did, and you will know all the effort that the other did. So that is trust. And the same can be applied to an agile team. With an agile team, we go on a sprint and we plan a sprint goal. So of course, at the end of the sprint, if we achieve the sprint goals, we are all good and we celebrate. Of course, celebration is super important. But what happens when you don't achieve the sprint goals? And this is where it comes, the retrospective. I realized why it's so important, the retro. And during the retro, you as leader, you need to identify which was the pain points. Maybe it can be some processes that were not good. So in that situation, it's super good to practice on facilitation techniques, creating a whiteboard, being dynamic on which things can be improved. But then, if the pain points were the people and the relationship between the people, what I like to do is not to share my screen, but try to make the people to share camera. Of course, sometimes it's super difficult, but to talk open and freely and engage all the people, make all the people talk. And on my side, I make notes. So at the end, when everyone talks, I write some sort of conclusions of what have been talking. So talking about conclusion, remember that I told you that I was going to share with you my secret ingredient? So here you are. My secret ingredient is love. But love for me means more to have an open mind and an open heart. I think that if you do your best to remain objective and handle and manage your emotion in every situation, you will be one step forward to lead a successful team. I know that this is not easy and it's a daily work. But if you start by leading by example, for instance, I like to share with the team some healthy habits that I do, like eating healthy, doing sport, or even meditate. So, to conclude, I think that if you motivate the people, if you inspire them, they will follow you and your message. Thank you. Here I put a QR code that you can scan, that it has my LinkedIn profile. So for the ones that would like to to contact me. We can like sports. We can arrange. We can go and play any sport you like. And at the end, we can continue talking about this topic that is my passion. Thank you so much. Yes?
Nico, you're talking about sports, which is very good. But you're Argentinian. Do you dance Argentinian tango?
Tango? Yes. I like to dance, but not tango. That's something that I need to learn. Yes?
Another question here. Is that your secret ingredient always enough to persuade the business decision makers about the further scopes of the sprints and actually giving some attention to the problems discovered during the retrospections? Because usually that backlog only tends to grow.
Yeah, exactly. Well, in that case, of course, it's always like a fight in that sense. But as an agile leader, sometimes you need to understand business and what is valuable. But from your side, what I realize is that you need to be aware of the person itself. Because if you are aware of how the person are feeling, then you can be able to achieve the goals. Of course, then you tell me, as an agile leader, you are not, your role is not to go against what business is saying. And I know that sometimes that is like an eternal fight.
Well, you might get some pressure from the team since those problems are not getting resolved properly, and there's a lot of them.
Exactly, but that's the thing. The most important thing that I recognize is that you don't need to send that pressure to the team. You need to tell them. You need to tell them everything. You need to tell them that is pressure, but the pressure is not to them, unless they are not performing based on the expectation that you're expecting. I don't know if I answered your question. It's something really philosophical. Like I think what you say, this fight against business, it's eternal. It's an eternal discussion.
Yeah, it doesn't have one single answer. It's always kind of hard.
And it's difficult to win against them. Yes?
Yes, so I wanted to ask, you talked a lot about microtrust and transparency. How do you approach delivering some bad news to a person while still maintaining this transparency and trust? For example, maybe a person is not performing all the best and has a plan is not happy. Or maybe you talked about promotion. The person didn't get a promotion, isn't happy, but you know he's a long way from getting that. So how do you stay positive but still transparent to the situation?
In that case, I always start with a self-assessment. I like to ask the person, how do you think you are performing, and make the person talk. When you go with I'm a person that likes to talk a lot, so for me it's difficult. But when you go to a one-on-one, you need to make the person talk 70% and you 30%. So if you in this case you start with the self-assessment, the person starts thinking about their own feedback, and then it's like a warm-up, and you prepare the situation. So then you can, if the person, it happened to me, that the person told me, no, I'm performing good, and the person was not performing good at all. It was complicated, the situation. But yeah, when the person start thinking, then you open the game, and you don't. It's not that you are like pressuring the person. You open and you share feelings. That's why sometimes I also like that. Like if the person open up with a feeling, I open up with another feeling, and then it's like they feel better. Of course, in one-on-ones, you cannot get through the bottom of the person. That's why team outings are super important. In outings, you are able to understand the feeling of the person. It happened to me that, no, yeah, it's all good. And then when you go to an outing and you start talking with the person, suddenly it's not so good. I said, okay, you didn't tell me. And I realized why a collocation is so important. When you go on a meeting and the people don't share the camera, you lose a lot. You don't see the body language. You don't see if they are paying attention to you or not. Even you need to only with their voice try to understand if they are really paying attention. That's why we need to develop this super ear to understand everything what they say, because we are not going to see the camera.
Thanks for the presentation. I have a question. How do you revive a burned out teammate? How do you revive a burned out teammate? So as a leader,
how you revive?
How would you revive a burned out person?
Well, in those cases, I feel like a therapy, psychotherapy. I talk and talk and talk to understand what's really happening with the person. Like try to go to the root cause of that, and try to share also my experience doing that. As I mentioned, I have been working on myself for 6 years already, and I know what it's digging in all this garbage and feeling bad and have all these feelings. So I try to help the person. I try to give also techniques or things that were good to me. And after the call, then I continue talking with that person. I follow up. I pay attention on how the person is talking during the meetings, if the person is changing or not. That's why sometimes I recognize that if you go in that direction, of course, then you need to talk with a lot of people, and you need to be like some sort of psychotherapy. And at the end of the day, sometimes I feel like tired of talking too much. But yeah, it's for me it's super important to recognize the situations and talk directly. Communication, it's the most important thing in our job and for anyone. When all the problems that I usually see at work, we always try to understand the root cause, know the process, what failed. Usually what fails is communication. People is not talking, people is not collaborating sometimes. So yeah. Good. If no more questions?
Then it's time for chocolate.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.